Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. That's another thing in regards to the shift phone. When you go live, that you don't have the ability to actually turn off this annoying pop-up. Let's see if it actually works in regards to the right side here. But yeah, that's another issue. Wow, why can I turn it around? Let's see here. Let's see if we can. Oh, we have that activated. So I'm just going to make if it works. That's a good question. Of course, it might be breaking everything, which I guess it's not unnormal that everything breaks on mobiles, right? Anyway, we can make an app info. Let's just clear the data and make it turn off like that. It's the new phone. I don't know how many issues. Well, it's the new old phone in some sense. So I don't know how perfect it is. Apparently we cannot turn around at the moment. Have I locked it? Rotation. Oh, there we go. I don't know why that was. There we go. Problem, of course, is if it, records in one direction or another direction. I'll just see. No, it actually does record in the right direction, and I probably need to change the switch network. Needing to do it, but I'll see if this should absolutely get better. So let's see here. I haven't, a lot of these programs are still old, and I haven't set anything really up because this is I lost my backup for things. There we are. I don't know if there's other camera modes. Oh, that's really dark. I don't know if it's the front camera. It's probably that's the front camera, I think. Yep, that's the back camera, and that's the off. Okay, off. Whatever you want. No, back camera, right? So, back camera, front camera, and it's not so much light. I don't know if I can make it white balance, maybe warm, orange, cloudy shade. Isn't there anything in regards of color? No, color effect not seen. Auto, normal, speed. What is that? Twice the speed. Well, that's probably, who knows. Let's see here. Well, it does become a little lighter, but it's not looking much better. Anyway, it's morning in Denmark and all that, so it's interesting. It's now giving me a warning in regards to the upload, which really shouldn't be a problem, but again, so it's typically warnings of this and that, making live streams. So I got a new LG V20. I haven't set it totally up, and my Frankenstein mobile, which I had as a reserve, which was the one recording when the government came into my building and broke down my door and put up a smart meter, and I'm trying to close down all my power in my apartment and live without power. But yeah, here's my new door, and there's a little light in the kitchen still. But yeah, so this is my wonderful new door. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just take the. There we go with the. Well, apparently there's no light down here. That's my old door over there. Well, see if we can turn it around. So yeah, that's my old door, and this is my new door. My it's like a shared thing. Let's see it turn around here. There we go. It's like a shed. It pretty much just of course the authorities felt like they had to make a whatever a little door. You can easily break through it, really, but they thought they apparently had to have something, right? Well, at least next time they're coming, it won't be so hard to break through the door. which of course, if they're going to start force vaccinating and all that nonsense, then I'll have a problem in regards to that. If the country goes in the direction of force vaccination, I don't know. I think, you probably would try to flee to another nation, which I don't really like the idea of, but that's just terrible, absolutely terrible. All the disgusting things going on. Okay, anyway, let's go back to the Shift 6MQ. Apparently I got some heat from my last video, which I was told I was lying and saying things and all that. I might have been a little negative in regards of it, but it was my, at that point, I'm having the government and my mobile breaks again. I think I was pretty honest, really, actually, in the video. But first thing that apparently apparently it was not the Gorilla Glass, it was the Panzer Glass. That, when I was out in the kitchen and it fell from the floor, or what? No, not the floor, the table from here, from right here. Well, on that level, and it fell down on the floor, which I would think is around a meter. But we can just take let's take a thumb stock, well, actually a measuring rod. I guess it's much better. Actually, that's also what the Bible says, right? Let's see how it might be a little more than a meter, but no, actually. It's 86 centimeters. 86 centimeters. That's even less than the other one in regards to 107 centimeters drop. But anyway, so yeah, okay. So 86 centimeters it was dropping in the kitchen. And the Panzer Glass at that point broke a line in the glass. Now, more issues came in the Panzer Glass, and I just removed the Panzer Glass. Not a big problem, because apparently underneath it is the Gorilla Glass, and I haven't had any problems with the Gorilla Glass at all, as far as I know. The problem was in regards to the screen itself that broke in regards to the Shift 6MQ. So now, I just want to lay a foundation. I wouldn't have looked on the Shift 6MQ if it didn't have the three necessary things. Now, this LG V20, I've long proclaimed that it is the best mobile there is. For many years, you can't really find anything that is better. Sadly, even if this phone is now, 5 years old, and even with all its issues, and I've been pretty harsh on this mobile as well, and said, well, I would only give it like 1 or 2 stars out of 10. Because there's some issues with it that I just feels like it's just, like we can take one issue, and it's pretty much Google, Android that is the issue here, that they don't let the user root the phone. If you root the LGV phone, it seems to have this thing behind that, as far as I understand it, a program that just begins to, do its thing, and thereby the mobile automatically becomes slower if you root it. Now, that of course is just one issue. I've rooted 3 different phones in regards of Android, and all of them I've had issues with. It just gets into this tedious, long thing with things, pretty much. That's well, give me a break. Apparently, it's just incredible what so much bullshit out there. The Turks was a name for the Mohammedans, so give me a break. It's just, anyway, I'll take that later. It's just incredible. People are just anyway, so in regards to the Shift 6MQ phone, it's not like I'm, when I'm beating the phone, I'm actually beating all the phones in the world, in some sense, because there was only 2 choices. Well, actually 3 choices, maybe 4, but that would be going into, years ago we were looking into getting a new phone because my LG V20 couldn't hold up anymore. Now it wasn't in regards of, and now again we have things coming up that was very annoying. Um, Give me a break. Do I really? I don't know if I can. How I can actually stop that actually. Because that's we're talking about Satanists that love to spew around with a lot of bullshit. But anyway, let's see here. I could turn it off, but then it turns it off all the time, I guess. Can you just turn it off for some time or something like that? Would be nice, like an hour turning. No, apparently not. Anyway, the thing is, all of the phones out there pretty much have gone utterly haywire, and most of the phones you can't change the battery, which is absolutely if I give the LG V20 where you can actually change the battery, fix the micro SD card, and have a jack stick. That's are the three essentials in a phone. If they don't have those three essentials, it's not even worth looking at it. So beating, maybe feeling like I'm beating on the shift phone. It's not like I'm beating only on the shift phone. I'm beating on every other phone out there pretty much. Because the shift phone at least gets to the level of having the three necessary things. Besides, I found out that 64 gigabytes is way too little when you have books and Bibles and all that on your phone, and they had to be on the internal and all that storage. Then 64 gigabytes is just too little. Because if I could have handled with 64 gigabytes, I would probably have bought one of the other models that was less expensive. And I don't need two cameras, I don't need, one camera is fine. But I know that 64 gigabytes would be too little, which of course the LG V20 has. If I recall correctly, the LG V20 was in a 32 edition and a 64 edition. Why they never made a 128 edition, I have no idea. But they didn't. In any case, so there was only, on the Android scene, there was only two options. That was the Fairphone 3 and there was the Shift Phone 6MQ. And of course then there was the option of getting another LG V20. That was the third option. And the fourth option was the Librem phone, which absolutely was not finished at that point. There was a lot of hype in regards of the Librem phone, and many people were looking forward to getting a Linux phone, getting away from Android, getting away from iPhone, getting away from all these, all this, lockdown, So I tried to get another LG V20 phone actually, but because of the Corona nonsense and all that, they could not send the LG V20 phone to me. Because because of the Corona nonsense. And the thing is, the LG V20 was not sold in Europe. So I don't know why, but this last flagship actually having all the three, things, micro SD, jack stick, and a replaceable battery, was not sold in Europe. So you had to, the first one I got from Hong Kong. So it's actually still the Hong Kong motherboard I have in the other phone, which is my Frankenstein phone, which was my reserve phone that didn't really, it was really handicapped, really having some issues. I had rooted the phone, and rooting the phone doesn't always, usually makes a lot of issues, and absolutely made a lot of issues for that as well. But I had my data on it still, and as a reserve, and then I lost all my data not long ago. But so I did regather some of my data from another motherboard. But that's anyway. Long story short, whatever. I now have it up and running with a non-rooted version. At the moment, so it's still as a reserve phone. So because I got a new phone, a new LG V20, not long ago, a couple of days ago, and this is the one that I'm using to record at the moment. But of course, as usual, it takes a lot of time to update it. It was running Android 7, which actually looked like it was running better than Android 8. Of course, you're missing out of in regards of some of the features in regards of Android 7 from Android 8. But the speed, it just felt, when you flipped it around, it's just really feels full of speed. But anyway, I have it updated to the latest version 8. The thing is with Android 8 is that you can still record calls, which of course is a problem in regards to the Shift phone, because the Shift phone runs Android 10, and thereby that gives issues. Of course, you can circumvent it if you root the phone, but if you root the phone, you get into a lot of other issues because it's Android and it's Google. It's nothing to do with Shift phone as a whole, but when I read about the Shift phone, the 6MQ phone, and the Fairphone 3 and all that, the thing that seemed to be the thing with both of these phones, that they were easily rootable. And I guess you can say they are still easily rootable, although you still need to be able to get into the forum, download the files, and do the whole procedure and all that, which again should be easier. You should just be able to push a button and then you're rooted. The problem as well is that every time you update, it seems like you need to root it every time again. So you cannot just update it. Apparently when you update it, you need to root it again, as far as I can see. Which is another one of these tedious things. And the whole thing is that Android is a molested Linux version. It's jailing the user in, and if the user wants to have root, and root is in regards of administrator rights, so the person can do whatever he wants with the phone, they on purpose, Android, Google, on purpose have made it hard for the user to do it, and going into a lot of issues when they do it. And again, I've had 3 different Android phones of rooting, and you always get into issues. It's very sad. It's very sad. And that includes the new Shift. Although, when you do root the Shift, it doesn't seem like it seems like it's still the same speed in regards of performance. So that didn't really take a hit compared to when I have the LTV20 and you test it, then you can sometimes really have, it's really boggles down on the speed. And you can also feel it on the mobile. That was not a problem on the Shift. But I got a lot of other problems on the Shift after rooting. I had to restart the mobile. Then I had one issue, then I had another issue, then I had another issue. And, you had to restart the mobile. It's very sad. Then, of course, when you root the phone, you also hack it, because you use Magisk to get in there and do its thing, right? And, clearly it's not... why can't we just have a foundational root, out of the package? Well, because Google don't allow that. And then Google took away the feature of recording in Android 9 and Android 10, and probably, as far as I would think, they probably have continued with that in Android 11, and I haven't looked into Android 11. So, the Shift actually were on the webpage talking about that the Shift 6MQ would actually be running Android 8. And I was thinking, okay, Android 8, well, that's not a bad thing overall, because then at least you can still record calls, right? And it seems like it actually is, when they upgraded to Android 10, well, they seem to run into this issue that drivers was not made for, for the camera, which is kind of a pretty sad thing that, you have a mobile that hasn't even been released, and you don't even have drivers for the back camera, one of the back cameras, because the drivers are not made for it anymore. That's kind of pretty in lack of better wording, pretty shitty, you know. It's not so good. And of course, they have had some time to fix the issues, and I've, awaited, different updates, but I don't really see any. Actually, it just seemed to, I had issues charging. I was told that these charging issues that I had was in regards of, not using the right charger. Well, that's not true, because I know that I've tested all my chargers that I had, and I found two of them that actually did wonderful. And I had to choose one of them, and I chose the smallest one, and I used that for charging. And, of course, I needed to sit with the mobile because it doesn't have an external charger for the batteries. So I had to sit with the, plugging in. And I guess I'm a hardcore user of mobiles, but, or at least was. Now that I'm going to take my power, I don't know how much I'll have to settle down on less. Which, again, might be a good thing overall, to really take a break from it all, So much bullshit in this world is going on, and it's everywhere. But I think actually I might have found a solution for it in regards to charging mobiles externally. Now you can't really see much if I turn on this. I found this little guy, and I just got it again for a couple of days ago. I got it. And now it's blue, so I don't know if it's actually. But the thing is, okay. So it says it's probably charged now, but the thing is, you take the battery. Of course, these are not the batteries for the shift phone, but I don't have a battery that is not charged now. But what you do is like, oh, so you can do it. It's a little hard to do it while. But it doesn't really charge it to 100%, but at least it charges it up to. But it was seems to work. I tried to look into the charging of the standard batteries for the LG V20, and really it's just a small print that really makes it able to charge. And it actually still works, this thing, you just put it on and some straps around it and it works, So it doesn't seem to be like a biggie thing to actually make a charger, external charger for a mobile, but here we have another one of these that I had from past. And you can see you have the rubber things. You just put the battery and the rubber things on and all that. And of course this is what it looks like. I bought a new edition of these. Of course it's not as cheap as it was in the past, because it's hard to get the LG V20 things now. As it is an old phone. It's also hard to get a new phone. Apparently it was possible. I seem to have now gotten a totally new phone that might last me 3 years down the line. But the thing is, this version of the LG V20, my old LG V20, I dropped it multiple times without ever breaking. And the Shift 6MQ, in less than a year, I broke 2 screens, Let's see, we have December, and I think I got it around February or something like that. Something of that. Late January, beginning February or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but around at that point, I got it. And it didn't take long to break it, of course, and I needed to send it back to Germany. They replaced the screen. I got it back, and it has been keeping a little better, although it had a pixel issue in the middle of the screen, which was kind of annoying, but at least it was working, so I didn't really bother much about it. But it was still kind of, it's not a cheap phone, it's kind of expensive, and then. Another thing is, I don't know if I said 50% or 15%, but if I said, apparently I was told that I said 15% of 50 instead of 15. Now the words are pretty close together. I might have made a mistake the last video in regards to that, But yeah, it begins to blink with 15%. The same thing is in regards to the LGV20. It comes up with a pop-up thing, and says, "Oh, there's only 15% and all that." And I just hate that, there's no way of turning it off. It just comes up every single time. Oh, there's only 15%. Now it's not a blinking thing that just blink at you all the time. So that's at least that's that, right? But it's still annoying to have a pop-up all the time. The LGV20, when it goes down to 5%, it also turns down the screen, which is, annoying, Don't turn down the screen. I know it's probably for lasting longer, but I don't care about it. If you turn off, you turn off, I'll just flip a new battery in it, okay? Don't give me the break of all this nonsense, and then don't make me, I can't turn it off, Now the shift phone ends up blinking when you go to 15%. It begins to blink, 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 right? Then you get to 10%, and at the time of the 10%, the system itself turns down. So if you're playing a game and you get down to 10%, it gets closer to unplayable. Of course, it depends in regards of how much the game is using and all that. But I was testing with a car game, a racing game, and on full graphics settings and all that, was running wonderful, or is running wonderful, and much better than the LGV20, no doubt about that. That's actually one of the strengths with the Shift 6MQ compared to the LGV20, is that the 6MQ is much more powerful in regards of these matters. I think it's 4 to 6 times faster. I can't remember. I have a lot of testing and all that. Oh, it goes on with all these messages. Give me a break, First from one place, then from another place, and all that. But yeah, it's that's one of the strengths of the Shift 6MQ, is that it's pretty much it has a lot of more juice into it in regards of games and all that. But I shouldn't be playing games anyway. But that is one of the things. One of the other things I had hoped for was in regards of PDF files, that it might be better in PDF files, but I really never got to really try that much out. But in theory, it should be better with PDF files, and I think it is, but I haven't really, I think I did a little, but it's hard to remember everything. There's so many things, but yeah, it can be pretty terrible when you're sitting on a mobile and you're sitting with PDF files. Some are better than others, absolutely. I think it's something in regards to how they pack the PDF file, but I'm not entirely sure. I think you can actually make them less, CPU consuming, a processor consuming. I guess it's something in regards to how much they have packaged the file compared to opening it again. I'm not entirely sure, but there should be ways in some way to what do you call it? To sort out some of the PDF if you repackage them in some way. What is this line? Is this like line from the window? I guess it might be a line from the window light coming down. You can see like a line here. Like there, that's the line. So don't worry, it's not something like but yeah, it's coming from the window. Anyway, so that's absolutely much more powerful than the LGV20. The problem I have is that I was just running into so many issues with the Shift phone, and of course it's not like, again, the Shift phone is still up there in regards of having the 3 essentials. If it doesn't have the 3 essentials, it's just to the dumpster, But I just feel like that a lot of these mobiles could be much more for the user, by the people, to the people, for the children, pretty much. And what I see is that they still pretty much go in the wrong direction on these things. You do wonder if it's a screen issue, right? This thing. No, it doesn't seem to be a screen issue. There's just the light coming out in the window. Let me see here. So, when I tried, usually I use my mobile not up to my ear because I don't want the radiation and all that. So I keep the mobile away from me and use the speaker. Now, when I did get the Shift phone, I could absolutely hear the difference between the LG V20 and the Shift phone in regards to the speaker. Now, I didn't really see it as a bad thing overall, although it was less loud, it wasn't that loud. Although, I don't know in regards to apparently they seem to have put the microphone at the place where the USB-C entrance is. If you actually blow with your mouth and blow at around the USB-C, you could hear that it seems to be hitting a microphone down there. So it is pretty close to the speaker, which of course also makes it, I guess, easier for it to actually record calls if you have it on speaker. Because it is possible. Did Google make it not open source anymore? How do they do all these disgusting things? How do they take features away from the users? And it's not because the users want them. When I've had when I've shown the ability to record calls to others, they're like, "Oh, can't you make my phone do that as well?" And it's like, do you have Android 8? Do we have Android 9? Do we have Android 10? If you have something over Android 8, I most likely can't because Google closed it down. So it's not possible for doing it. I don't know. I'm just sick and tired of it all. It's not because the software and the hardware can't do it. It's because they on purpose close these features down. So again, it's not the fault of Shift. And if I'm sounding negatively in regards of Shift phone, it's the whole thing pretty much. It's not only, again, at least the 6MQ, the Shift 6MQ has removable battery. It has the micro SD card and it has the jack phone. Now these are, if they don't have those three, it's not worth looking at. And they want to sell us this nonsense that, we need to be careful of the environment and all that nonsense. And yet, they're selling us this garbage where you can't replace the battery and all that. You gotta be kidding me. But this is like this, instead of looking at the fire, we blow at the smoke, Apparently, they felt that I was a little too harsh, and they felt like I was lying, when I said that just tapping the device would break it. If you take it in context, or blowing on it would break, make it break. I used it as a, extreme thing to just get a point over. I dropped it, I've not dropped it that many times. Like the first drop I drop it's ruined, and I'm sitting on my toilet, right? Yeah, not the most best place, but anyway, most of us do it, I guess, sitting with the mobile on the toilet while doing our thing and all that, right? And I just had to, lay it on the floor and all that, and it came out of my hand, the last bit of the drop, and I didn't think about anything about it because what, it was just a small drop, it's just nothing, I didn't think anything about it, until I saw the mobile that the screen had been broken, right, inside of it. So, and the second time I broke it was over here while I was testing my solar panels. Again, I've had the LG V20, and maybe the LG V20 is more resistant to such things and all that. But I don't think a mobile should just break just because you drop it a very short span. I've been told that maybe I have a faulty device and all that. Well, maybe that is so, but that still doesn't take away that that's what I've experienced. That I have broken two screens very easily, and that's what, $100 or maybe a little more than $100 for replacement of a screen. If you're going to need to replace the screen 2 times a year, whatever, it's just not. It's just that doesn't seem to be good enough in my book. It's just I really, it's not like I didn't want to like the product and all that, and it's not like it's all bad, but um, how you have you have two back cameras on the phone, right? And it's only one back camera that is working, right? You still don't have the other one fixed. Is that ever going to fixed? I'm not so sure it will ever be fixed. Um, and you sell the mobile as having two back cameras, and yet only one of them is working. And I don't know if you're ever going to get it to work, but it just seems a little, what the driver's not being worked out for that camera. I don't know. Maybe it will be fixed at some point, but still, it just seems, and it's I don't care in regards of one camera or two cameras, but the mobile is still being sold as two cameras, right? And if it only really have one, that's kind of sucky. It's kind of sucks, right? But yeah. So I guess taking my LG V20 and giving it 1 or 2 stars and saying it's the best phone on the market at the moment. Um, that's where I'm coming from in regards of criticizing mobile phones, I guess, because I think they could be much, much, much better, and they are on purposely jailing us in like Google is, and they're spying on us, they are pushing advertising on us, they're doing all these filthy things, and it just takes away things. It just takes away, like when you put the mobile, the LG V20 in the charger, and it doesn't close the screen, so you actually need to put it in, and then it turns on automatically. But because I don't have the fingerprint or whatever activated, the screen is turned on, and if you have put the screen to be turned on, as long as it can, that's of course an issue as well, um, which should have been fixed. Yeah. So in regards to the shift speaker, I could hear it was different than the LG V20 speaker. Not a big problem, but the problem came around when I was trying to talk to people. It just didn't seem to. I had struggle, or I'm struggling to hear what people are saying when I use the shift phone with the speaker, and that's the main thing I usually use the speaker to talk to people. So I had trouble with hearing people in regards to what they're saying on the Shift 6 MQ. And hey, that might just be my ears. I don't know, but I'm really struggling to hear what people are saying. Not because it's not enough, although it could be louder, but I just have a hard time hearing people. And it's not like I really wanted to like this mobile. And I think I gave it a really good shot in regards of things, but breaking the screen so easily is just one of the things where I'm just, you gotta be kidding me. You know, if it's and that was another thing in regards to recording calls where I was told that, you know, can't you just use the, another mobile for that? And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, It's like I buy a mobile so it can do everything, not so I need to have two mobiles and one to do this and another to do that. In regards to recording calls, right? Recording calls is a very essential feature which can be very important because when you're talking to governments and all that, you might want a copy of that talk. But of course, the governments are always sniffing our buttholes, but we're not allowed to sniff their buttholes. Or if you're talking to different, people out there, we apparently are not allowed to record calls. And I can see I didn't do a pretty good, the hair is going out the whatever. Anything else that but besides all the issues, you can actually fix some of the issue if you root the phone. If you root the phone, you can actually make the sound higher. You can also make it better in regards of more discant and less bass. You can fix that and get some more sound as well. The same thing with the LTV20. If you actually root it, this is one of the things you can fix if you know which program to download. And in regards to Magisk, having it rooted, and then you fix this application, and then you can actually sort things out in regards to that. But then you get into the sickness of Google Android, of Android. Every time I've rooted a phone, it gets into issues. And you can pretty much see these issues on forums when people are talking about this and that, and they have one issue after another. They try to sort it out, and one of the issue could be that it couldn't connect to the network, and I couldn't get it to connect to the network. What did I need to do? Well, restart it. Then having problems with the files on the memory card, having problems moving them, making issues with my files, such things of that nature, and that's just doesn't seem to be good enough, so as far as I can see, rooting Android phones is just out the window in some sense, because every time you do it, pretty much you get into issues. That might, that's probably people out there that want to disagree with that, but my experience with this, it's just a total waste of time using time on rooting the phone. You can use hours, weeks, and months on this, trying to hack the phone to actually just make it do what you should be able to do from the beginning. But because they have made, Google have made all these insanities, all these walls and hoops to jump into, it's just, and this should be a feature that you just had from the very beginning. A phone where you don't have root is a sick phone. They're putting you in a jail box, they're putting you in a box. And if you dare to leave that box, they have, mined the field, So you get into issues, so you don't even want to go out there, And of course, you can see how much energy they put into making it hard to do. Not only that, you have all these different mobile versions as well. Like the LTV20, you have so many different versions of it, with different systems on it as well, where you can download for this version and that version and whatever version and all that. Instead of just having one, they have like this huge amount of variants out there, where you can have different ways of actually needing to circumvent their security to get the root and all that. I remember the first LG, or my first Android phone was a Note 2. I think it was a Samsung. And the idea that I had was that I would root it and put a system on it and all that. But then instead of getting a Note 2, I got a Note 2 variant in regards of a newer model in some sense, but a variant of the model. So you got into a lot of issues in regards of the of the other systems that was made for it. So that was, I never got into finding a system that actually, there was always some kind of thing that was broke. The closest thing I came to finding a system was something called SlimCat. But the problem with SlimCat was that it could ring and call, but you couldn't receive data, So you couldn't go on the internet, you couldn't, because apparently it just didn't work in that version. I don't know what. Maybe I could have flashed another kernel or something. I don't know, but it didn't work. I never got it to work. I can't remember all the details. It's so long ago, and I think I did a pretty good try onto, but it just didn't. Never got it to work. In any case, then I had the LG V20, which, looking at it, it's not really. You don't really get much more by rooting it. Well, of course, it would have been nice if you could, but in regards of, if you weigh out the positive and negative things in regards of rooting the LG V20, it's you still have the possibility of recording calls on the Android 8, which is on the LG V20. So at least you still have that possibility, and that's one of the main things that you would like to want in a phone when you call the government or the other bullshitters out there. So you have it on tape in some sense. So you have it on, so you can either re-listen to it or that you have it as evidence for something, a call. Or if someone says they never said that or whatever, you can just replay the, and have a and figure out, well, you did say that, No, I never said that. Well, click, there you go, you said it. And, the video recording or the sound recording is the thing that doesn't lie, as long as you haven't edited, of course. But anyway, most people will accept that when they hear the thing and they can hear that, I did say that. Okay. Well, anyway, so that's one way, of course, of using recording calls. But Android 9 made that difficult, and Android 10 made it more difficult. I don't know in regards of Android 11, but they would probably have made it more difficult. Another thing, there's some of these things in Android 10 that is just utterly outrageous compared to, you can just have a look here in regards of. Well, here we have the Android 8, and I can actually push like this, right, on Android 8. I can push wherever I want. I can go from this to this, jumping from one end to another end very easily by just pushing on it. Well, apparently on Android 10, at least on the version of Shift, it hides itself. It is down here, and you can see it like on the screen. Oh, I don't have anything that actually shows where I'm pushing. But yeah, down here you have the whole thing where it has like these lines. So if you have 5 screens, you have 5 lines, but you can't push on them. You can't do anything, so you can just jump directly to them, and you can't see them either because it hides itself. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're wasting, space. I hate wasting space. That's just, if you have space and you don't have that much space and they're wasting space, removing features that was, it just doesn't make any sense. it only makes sense if you want to confuse people, really. And of course, Android, Google, it's hard to downgrade in regards of then they will upgrade your applications, and upgrading applications can make issues. So you're sitting there and you have a perfect application that works without any issue, and you get an update and something breaks. It's happened so many times. And if you have like me sometimes over 100 applications installed, you end up sitting and fixing things all the time instead of actually using the device. So yeah, that's another tedious thing. Downgrading is hard to do. The same thing in regards of this mobile. When I got to the last Android 7 upgrade, I had to think about, did I want to try the Android 7 version before, and see if I could actually do with that, because it actually seemed pretty quick. Upgrading to Android 8 seems to be somewhat slower in regards of speed, although that is what I have been using for a lot of time, and it does have some extra things that absolutely is nice, like easy access to applications from the you can push here, right, an app info. It didn't have that on Android 7. In Android 7, you need to go into settings and whatever, find it and find the apps thing here. I think like apps, right? Apps. Let's see if we can find it. Apps notification. Yeah, I think that must be it. Then you needed to go into 162 apps installed apparently. I guess not all of them are. But anyway, you needed to go into this and find it and then push it, and to get that screen. Now you can just app info, or if they have any, what do they call it, or maybe that's not Android. Oh, we have more in regards to see here. See if yeah, no, or maybe that's Android 10 then, in regards of having the ability of fixing the widgets. That might be an Android 10 thing in regards of that. Maybe you need to do this in regards of Android 8. But anyway, so not all bad from Android 8 to Android 10, but yeah. But locking people out, you give people minor features here and there, and then you take one of the biggie out of the thing. So I think actually in regards of the Shift 6MQ, they should probably have made Android 8 for the system. I don't know why they took the choice of putting Android 10 on it, but it seems like they started out wanting to put Android 8 on the Shift 6MQ, where, as I understand it, those drivers for the camera would actually have worked. And they already have done a lot of work on Android 8 in regards to those other mobiles that they have. So I don't know if it would have been a big issue fixing an Android 8 version for the Shift phone. At least you wouldn't need to root it for getting this feature, because you could just have. So they started out, I remember on the website where it said Android 8, they changed that to Android 10, and I was like, okay, that might not be so good, or maybe it is. Maybe I can just root it. But again, rooting the phone makes issues, and so sadly, because you really should, as a user, have root out of the box. And that's also one of the reasons why I looked into the Linux phones, the real Linux phones. But the Librem 5 clearly was not ready for a mainstream phone or a daily use phone. We have the Pine phone, but clearly that was in testing and still is in testing, although there is a Pine phone Pro version coming out in a couple of months, although I think Some people already have gotten it to test it out and try it out and all that. Mostly for people making software and all that. But of course, they do understand that this phone is far from done, So it probably is not a phone for most people. Although if it could do the essentials, they're still on the right way. And all these phones that I'm mentioning have the possibility of changing batteries, having an SD card and jack stick. Because I wouldn't even be looking on any other phones then. If they don't have the three essentials, it's garbage. It's for the bin. I don't even want to look at it, okay? Because it's bullshit. So I might be a little heavy in regards of the Shift 6MQ, in regards of my speaking against it. But I guess I'm always pretty harsh on things because the Shift, just no the LG V20. It's the best phone on the market. I said years ago, and I had hoped that the Shift 6MQ could take its place. Sadly, that doesn't seem to be the case, Sadly, because the LG V20 has a lot of its own issues, and it's 5 years old and all that, and but it still is. It still does seem to be the one that is, the thing that I will hang on to. For 3 more years maybe. If, who knows, the government might kill us before that. It's all going downhill at the moment. So, but yeah, 1 or 2 stars, again, out of 10 for the LG V20, which as I say, is the best phone out there, or at least was. And it seems like it still is, even with all these issues, older camera, this and that and all that. But if you can get a charging, what phone do you have that really have a charging cradle? I guess maybe the Pine phone have a charging cradle for it, but there's no possibility of getting a bit bigger battery, it seems, which is also in regards to the Shift phone, you don't have a charging cradle or an outside charging device for the batteries. So you need to use the phone for charging batteries, which is just nonsense, And looking at it in regards to charging batteries, it shouldn't be that hard to fix, I would think, looking at the prints that was inside the charging cradle and the new one that I just got. It doesn't seem like to be a biggie thing, to make something that can charge a battery. And yet, they don't have it in regards of the Shift phone. I bought 4 batteries. Oh, that was another problem actually, by the way, in regards to the batteries, not to forget. When I got the first batteries, and I think I got 2 in the beginning, and then they sent the last 2, which seems to actually be better, but in regards to the size. But the first 2 batteries I got was nearly impossible to get in and get out. They, it was so hard to get the battery, and I had to fix them on the bottom with some sandpaper to get them better, to make them fit. Now, that's not a totally, turn off or anything like that, or whatever you want to call it, but it's kind of still kind of an issue. At least I guess at least the battery doesn't get out if you get it in. But another problem is that you really couldn't get the batteries with the nail. There wasn't this thing to get the nail. I fixed that as well. Actually, it was working wonderful. So I fixed the batteries with some sandpaper and then fixed this thingy for the nail, and that actually worked wonderful on all 4 batteries. You know, but that's, you know, that could have been thought out a little better for sure. If we look at the batteries here, I have all 4 here. So let's see here. And these are the batteries. So what I did, now this was the other batteries that I got was seemingly better than the first 2 I got. So I don't know if they maybe have had focused on that, but as you can see, I put this thing on it. It's a little hard to see, but right there, I just solidified something. They call it something like yielding. No. You know, when you are fixing iron together or something like that, is you use some UV light and it fixes into this hard thing. So you put the liquid out and then you get that UV light and it solidifies. And every single one I did it, although you can see it's different. This is a little different, but it works. You know, it works on all of them. Here we have another one, and as you can probably maybe see some marks. That's from the sandpaper. So just take a little off so it actually could be put in. And here we have another one. And you know, I've taken some very fine sandpaper, just fixed it because it was nearly impossible to get the batteries inside. You know, it was like very, very. You know, there was just a little too big. But at least, you know, if you get the battery in there, at least it wouldn't jump out. You know, that's pretty certain, for sure. So I did that to the batteries because, you know, it's just way too difficult to take them out. I had problems with that. That absolutely made it better, although they're pretty, you know, they're still pretty stuck in there, but it's absolutely easier to take them out. Also with the nail thing that you actually can get the... It was interesting because they had this weird thing, which, yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't... On the bottom, I don't know, it just didn't really see to be thought out, you know. This works, you know. This you should just have done like this. Put the bottom with a thing like this so you can just get the nail in there and just flip it up. I don't know. They should have thought about that, I think. Anyway, of course I fixed it, and all after I fixed it, it hasn't been any problem really. Here you can see the 4 things. So you can see it's not the same, you know. It's not. I tried to just get a little, but it's not the same result every single time. But it works, you know. That's the most important. Every single one of them works. So you can easily flip the battery. The problem with it as well is that I didn't have any battery charger outside of the mobile. So I was pretty much stuck on the wire. I was sitting here, for example, and with the wire in the phone all the time, pretty much, because it was just sucking the batteries dry really quickly. And if I wanted to charge the batteries, I needed to do it with the mobile. So, and apparently at some point the charging ability of the phone just stalled. Now I had a charger which actually well, anyway, I have a replacement charger of that kind, but I thought it actually might be in regards to the charger or something like that, because that burned off, and at some point the mobile began to have issues with charging. Although, and here we have a bag of chargers. I have different chargers, and I have some more chargers actually. And telling me that I just need to use the right charger doesn't seem to be correct, you know. Because I know I tested the chargers in the beginning, and I know I had 2 chargers that absolutely was working. And I ended up using one primary. This was one of the chargers that seemed to work wonderfully with it. It's an Anchor charger, one of these small PD new chargers that are just smaller than. So it shouldn't get so heated in regards to charging the phone, because the phone can't use it totally. So, which is also a good thing. This one has the maximum, but that's a Huawei quick charge. And the wonderful thing with this was that it isn't that big, and it was charging to its fullest extent in regards of the mobile, the Shift phone, and but the problem was that this was getting really hot. It was getting heated, and apparently I was using it a lot. I was pretty much using it all the time, nearly, being fixed to the wire. Sadly, it's kind of annoying, but in any case, this burned off. The last one I had of these, it burned off. I think it was around there. There's sitting a thing. I think it's right there inside of it, and it just burned the whole thing in. No, anyway, I threw that out and I got a new one. The problem is that after I got this one, it didn't work in regards to after the charging failed. It didn't work with this one. I thought, okay, let me try to get the same other charger and see if that is the problem, if that fixes it, but it didn't fix it. I have another one here that is bigger, just doesn't work. I have some standard chargers, doesn't really matter. I have some other chargers over at there as well, fast chargers and all that. Doesn't really work either in regards of it. So you pretty much had to just close down the mobile and let it charge, and you could see that on the charging curve that it was not charging as it should. Now, I had the same problem on the LG V20 after some years, because I used a foreign charger, which made it very hot, and then it wouldn't charge as to its full extent. Now it would still charge, but not to its full extent. So I don't know if it's some kind of software, because after I restarted it and all that, it seems to actually be able to charge at its normal rate again, which might be the same thing with the Shift phone. The problem is that if I factory reset the Shift phone, I'll have to restore every single application pretty much, and again, finding an application that can back up the things is it's not made easy, and I don't really wanna restart all my applications just to redo everything again. It's a waste of time. The LG had an application, and actually we can go look at it. The LG had an application which sadly didn't really work. Usually I have had no problems with it, but last time it just didn't want to work on my handicap phone, which I was using to record when the governments came. But the problem was that it wouldn't make a backup. Never had any problems with this application before, but it was a rooted phone and it had its issues for sure. It was absolutely feeling handicapped after the rooting. It was absolutely not feeling like it was running as it should, and you could also see it in the testing and all that. But that shouldn't have made it not be able to make a backup, but apparently it didn't want to make a backup. So I tried to unroot the device, which made it go into fast boot, and tried to recover it, and apparently made it factory reset. So all my data was lost because I've deleted all my backups that I had on my hard drive, because I thought it was kind of wasted to have so much room wasted. But hey, yeah, and then of course I had to fix another motherboard in regards of another LG V20 that I got earlier, another version that had I really had it for throwing out, but it did have some other things, so I got into that, fixed the motherboard, and made a backup, and have now transferred that backup over to this. So at least it got saved some of my old applications and all that. But of course I will have to redo a lot of things. But yeah, at least I had some things able to recover. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much what was my. But anyway, the LG Mobile Switch is a wonderful application which usually works pretty good. But the problem is it only works on LG phones. You should be able to go from non-LG phones to the LG phone, but not from an LG phone to another phone, which is again this nonsense where they wanna jail us in and we don't have the free choice to really do what we want. You know, just, oh, give me a break. Why couldn't you just make it work on, you know, why are you only making it work on one, you know, go give me a break. But that's the typical jailing in. So trying to move the applications also from my LG V20 to my Shift 6MQ was really it was terrible. Absolutely, I tried to pay for different applications, and then you get over to the Shift MQ, and because you don't have Play Store, those applications that you paid for doesn't work, and then you're on this same nonsense again, right? Anyway, it's terrible, absolutely terrible. Anything else? Yeah, I guess I'm just sick and tired of how it has taken a wrong turn on every single level in the world of, you know, mobiles, the world of computing, you know, how they push advertising on us, how they jail us in and all that. And of course, you can't blame Shift for all the issues because it's not their fault in regards of the Android Google bullshit. That's just Android, you know, in its nutshell. That is just terrible. But you know, I'm hoping, I really hope that the Linux in, you know, of course I'm getting too old to this, you know, in regards of these, you know, sorting out things like waiting for things, you know. Who knows when they're going to kill us anyway? The government is really in the business of murdering the people at the moment. Although it's not a new thing that governments are killing their own people, but really on the high level on that at the moment. You know, you cannot go into shops and pay for food and all. Oh, give me a break, you know, because we use mask and all that and distance and all that bullshit. People, you know, if people don't know if they would have been, you know, fascist Nazis and all that, well, now they know. Most of them would have been Nazis. There's no one that can blame the Germans for what they did. No one. Well, very few at least, you know. Because most of the people in the world, oh, I can maybe actually set it to, wow. Actually, that's true. That's two front cameras. That's true. That actually might be better so I can actually see my hand gestures or whatever the case. But yeah, most people can't really blame the Germans anymore for German Hitler or for Roman Catholic Hitler and all that. Why? Because most of them have shown that they will just follow along. They would have done the same thing as most Germans in the past. Just look at them. Just look at the people. The depraved drones, zombies that just follows along. It's very sad. I don't know how long we actually have left. You know, they have camps. You know, in Australia, for example, they have camps. They put people in camps, you know. You gotta be kidding me. And these insane tickets they give people, like it's just totally insane in regards of, you know, you could be drained in regards of money supply very quickly, you know. You gotta be kidding me. So yeah, the world is absolutely nutty. Of course, we have known that for a long time. Although most people just follow along to get along, right? So any other things? Well, the good thing is that if you want to play games, it seems to be doing, the Shift seems to be doing pretty good in regards of playing games. So, and being faster than the LGV20, absolutely. Um, the racing game in regards to the LGV20, it could be done, but you had to move to the lowest thing and the lowest setting, and it would still be, kind of a little. But on the, what do we got here? Oh, we have a close down here. Why? Why did it close down that? I don't know. Well, we've also been recording for an hour, and I guess it, maybe it's heating a little up. That's, by the way, one of the good things in regards to the LGV20 if you get a bigger battery is that the heat will be better dispersed. I don't know why it closed the mobile. Maybe it felt like it was getting too heated. I don't know if it feels like, it doesn't feel that bad. But it could be in regards of it. Of course, it is slower than the Shift. So the Shift is absolutely better in regards of those things, and where you absolutely much more powerful. But the problem, of course, is if I can't really use it as a phone, and I have problems in regards of. Oh yeah, another thing I had problems with the Shift is that people were calling me, and the phone wasn't ringing. Now I don't know if that was another application that was into things and all that. I had tried around in regards of recording calls and all that, but uh, that might be the case. But at least I was like, I don't know. It wasn't, people would call me and it wouldn't call, it wouldn't ring, so I would just get a message afterwards and seeing, oh, someone has called, but it wasn't ringing. At that, sometimes it would ring, sometimes it wouldn't, and I don't know what that is about, but that's kind of a bad thing as well. So the biggie issues is that I've had with the Shift is that the screen breaks, and the two times that the screen broke, I couldn't really use it. Uh, Even it's not just the glass that breaks; it's the screen, the total screen itself that just totally breaks, and the charging issues, and that I didn't have the possibility of actually charging the batteries outside the mobile, which I might now have found a solution, or at least better than anything. But it seems like for this phone that it's charging the batteries to. We're closing down again. 90 degrees. I guess it might feel like it's getting too hot. It should be too hot. I don't know why it's closing it down, but apparently. Oh yeah, I know why. Okay, it's because I'm using. Okay. Yeah, this is actually one of the things that I hate as well with the LGV20 is that if you use the standard camera program, it actually closes down automatically. This is one of these bullshit features. If you actually use this camera application, which is not, but I don't know if you actually have, this way. My, okay, we have a little zoom on my. But yeah, we only have one. Yeah, we only have the two fronts, sorry, two backs, and one in the front. So we don't have the two in the front apparently. Still seems like, what do we have, like if we turn it? Okay, let's push it here and let's see here. And yeah, okay, that actually does seem to have more widescreen. Let's see. Yeah, well, this seems to be the widescreen that is already on. That's fine. That's perfect, actually. Yeah, the other application that actually comes with the Android version, at least on Android 8 in regards to the LGV20, actually cuts off automatically while you're recording. So that's one of the reasons why I have open camera, so I can still sit and talk without actually having it go out. So that's my bad. So that's one of these things where I'm getting pissed off as well. One of the things that takes stars down, because hey, if you're going to close down the application, at least ask me if I want this, or at least give me the option to turn it off. And that's the problem. And every time you are recording with the Android 10 Shift phone, it would also come up and ask you if you want, with this and that and recording and you information and blah blah blah, and you can actually turn that off on at least the LG V20 phone. I'm like, at least make a button where you can say, I don't want to see this message anymore. I do understand when I'm recording my whole screen that there could be informations going out from my mobile, okay? It's like, I have seen it one time. I don't need to push it all. This is a pushing game, The satanic bullshit pushing game of pushing things all the time, right? Dick, 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 dick. Satan loves that. Satan loves misusing our time. So, yeah. So yeah, that was one of the things that also was annoying in regards to the shift phone. So it's a minor thing, but still, you know, many small puddles make a big ocean in some sense. But yeah, I guess the biggie things I have in regards to the Shift 6MQ is the screen breaking, that I, not able to charge, and I don't have the possibility of charging these batteries outside. At least I might have found a solution now, but that's pretty much too late, I guess, because I've asked the company for a new screen, and then in regards of sending it back, and I think it's probably the best for both of us. I don't want to be dishonest and in regards of my views on things. I had a lot of hope in regards of this product, but I became more and more disillusioned on it, and then using it as a phone and finding out that I had hearing problems in regards of people speaking when I was using the using the speaker. Not a good thing. Um, so you know they talked about making the phone like really like your love phone and all that. I just don't see how that's ever going to be possible. I guess there's just no perfect phone out there, and I guess I'm just too critical for this world. Um, but it's also the thing when you if you try to push the screen on the shift, like with the finger on the middle of the screen, you can feel like it's wavering. I don't know why, but it feels there's something in the shift phone that is like making vibrations. Just if you push the middle of the screen, it just seems like a like kind of a, and maybe that's the thing that breaks the screen in regards of vibrations. I don't know. That the inner screen. Apparently the Gorilla Glass is untouched and all that. The only thing I've seen broken is the Panzer Glass and the inside screen itself. But I don't know if it's something to do with this. When you push the screen, you can feel like there's this little vibration. And I don't know where it's coming from. I haven't figured that out. But clearly, if you push on the middle of the screen on the shift, and it's something that when you start out using it, you feel like this, and you just push, and it's like you can feel this, this vibration thing, and you just wonder, where is this coming from? Where is this? And I haven't had the shift phone open myself, so I haven't been able to really figure out what is the thing that does it. Is it the screen itself that they have, that when you do this, it doesn't do it with my LG V20. I don't recall any other phone really doing it. But on the shift, and you push on the middle of the screen, you can just feel this vibration. And again, I don't know where it's but maybe it has something to do that the screen breaks easily. I don't know, because if it hits something, you would probably think that the vibrations would then you know, be giving a huge amount. Maybe if you can just make it a little when you just touch it. Think about a big slash. If it does something in the phone, then maybe breaks the screen. I don't know. I really don't know, but that's a problem at least, as far as I can see. Or maybe I have a faulty device, although I doubt it. I doubt that it's just the main problem with my own. I think it's a problem that should be looked into, because it's clearly not a good idea to have something that breaks pretty often. And I don't know if others haven't sent their things back for fixing or something like that. What I do know is just that's what has happened with my end, and and that's not really praiseworthy, is it? That the phone breaks, it's just not worthy, because it breaks totally. It breaks so much so you can't use it. I might be able to get into the mobile. It should only be the screen that is not working, so I should be able to retrieve the data at least from the computer itself. That's one way of doing it, of course. And I should actually do that. That's probably a good idea, to just copy everything to the computer and just have a backup in regards to that. It's only 128 gigabytes, or only that's a good. It still takes a lot of time to download the things. I should be able to, I think, to do it. Oh, you need to, remember, there's some commands that also can do things, although I can't remember the commands. I did, save it the last time I sent it back. I just downloading all the data from the phone. But I did it with some kind of coding, so it downloaded everything. I guess I can try to figure that out. But that's another thing, right? That you always have to investigate how to do things that should be really, really easy to do. And that's not a shift issue, it's just Android, Google in itself, and making more and more security nonsense and all that. And usually, all that security nonsense means that they're going to take things away from the user and control you more and more and more. And that's what they're doing. Um, I don't think I have much more. I guess. In regard to things. I just it's just the further I got with it, just the more disillusioned I got. And the problem is, I've used so many hours on this. I used so many hours to set it up, have the applications and all that fixed, and put all the things in order. And now I need to take it off and put it in another device and set everything up again. And because some of the things also, when you back up things, some things you need to do it one way, and another thing you need to do it another way, and it's just typical waste of time. Um, you can't just copy and paste things, as you should actually be able to do. You should be able to just have, here are the applications into a folder, just copy and paste them over to the phone, and there we go. Uh, like portable applications on the computer, but Microsoft didn't really like that. Many didn't like that. Um, so it's it's nothing personal against Shift. Uh, at least they still have the three things. I wouldn't have looked at them if they didn't have the three things. I think they should go with some kind of thing where they could, you know, charge the batteries. Just a small little charger would help a long way for just charging the batteries, so you can just flip them around. Even if these batteries are not that big, and you can't get any bigger batteries than these, at least you would be able to quickly flip them around and you're on the go again with a full charge. I think that's, shouldn't be the thing that would be costing that much to do and fix. And I think a lot of people would be happy with a little charger for the batteries. Although, again, there might be some other solutions like the one that I've found that might be actually able to charge these batteries at least for, who knows. But maybe not 200%, but I have to, again, I haven't tested it as of now. I can see they can charge them, but I don't know if how far they charge the batteries, the charger I have. Um, I don't know if there exists any other product that can charge batteries, but there don't seem to be that much that would work. But yeah, at least I found one and I got it, and it does seem to at least do something. And for the LG V20, it charges around 90%. So it doesn't charge them to 100%, but at least 90% is better than needing to, so. And again, what would also be nice with bigger batteries, I think this is, it's way too, you can empty these very quickly. I would have liked to see some bigger batteries, although the mobile might become heavier, but like the perfect choice of battery that I found for the LG V20 was 6,400 milliamps an hour, or milli-hour amp, no, milliamps hour, yeah, milliamps hour. 6,400 milliamp hours was pretty much perfect for this mobile, the LG V20. Um, I don't know if I can get those batteries again for it because it's an old phone and they stopped producing them. It seems the company and all that. So, but yeah, it just gives you this extra feel of actually having the the battery that extends a little further. It just feels much. I don't know why many of the phone companies make these small batteries, for mobiles, and then they have all this fast charge and all this bullshit, which is not really needed if you just have an external charger for your mobile, because you can just put the battery in the external charger while using the mobile. When the mobile is then done, you can just go over, flip the battery, and there you go. 100% again, flip the battery. Just let the battery charge. You have just flipped the battery. You have 100% and all that. It couldn't be easier than that. But no, then we go into all this nutty fast charging and whatnot, and give me a break. And now we have so many other issues with all this nonsense, in regards of things not being compatible with one thing or another, and something working better than another thing, and so forth it goes. And it's just a madhouse without equal. So, besides that, I haven't really, in regards of the batteries, they work pretty good. Haven't had no problems after fixing, them with sandpaper and some wielding. I think it's called wielding, for the easy outtake of them. That's been pretty good. Um, so so it's absolutely not all bad. It's just how can you have a, well, you would at least need to have a screen at disposal in regards of the L or the Shift 6MQ. And I did really think about that when it broke first time. I was like, if this is so easy to break, then I would need to have a second screen ready to change the screen. It's um, this mobile that I have in my hand here. I would have no problem in regards of dropping it. I would be pretty solidified that it would actually work, you know, the screen wouldn't break. You know, of course, there's always a chance that the screen can break and all that. But I'm pretty certain that if I take this screen, and I'm not going to do it now, and I'm recording and all that. If I take this mobile and just drop it from here, you know, and apparently it did get some problems here. And again, it is an older mobile, so that's what you get, you know, with an older mobile. That's also one of the better things with the Shift. Again, it's a newer model, it runs better and all that, so I don't know, it's just, it's stalled. But again, you know, the mobile is an older model, has some, you know, sometimes it's hard for it to follow along. Again, if you get a bigger battery for it, you can also get more dispersion of the heat, you know, that it makes. Let's try that again, see if we're on. Yeah, we are on rolling again. But the thing is, do we have issues again? We might have issues again with it. Apparently it has problems following along. But I wouldn't be afraid of dropping the phone right here, you know. Let's try the other camera program. Of course, the other camera program will lock down. But yeah, seems to be. But anyway, if I drop the phone right here, right now, and all that, I would be pretty certain that it wouldn't break the screen. In regards to the LG V20, if I take the Shift, I wouldn't be so certain, you know. It's just failing on these things. And I still don't understand this extra protection of the Panzer glass. It doesn't seem necessary at all. Usually when I put my screen in my pants, I put the screen inside to my body. And that makes it a lot harder to actually, you know, again, if you look at my, well, I don't have that, but my old LG V20 phone, there wasn't a scratch on the screen. It was pretty much as new, you know. The problem was that inside, behind, we get all these, you know, I don't know why, it's not a problem with I'm not doing something else, but you know, it's a little annoying now, coming around. But yeah, it was pretty much as new. The screen was pretty much as new. Not really any scratches or anything like that. And you could see the phone had some beating in the plastic and all that. You could see it had gotten some bumps here and there. But the problem was that the glue was detaching. The same thing, actually the first thing that happened with the LG V20 was that's the back camera. The back camera glass began to detach because of the glue not gluing anymore. And give me a break with this. How do I stop this? Can I just stop it for some time or something like that? Must be a way to actually just stop it for a while, but anyway. So I guess I don't have much more to say. Really, I would need to actually write a concentrated letter pretty much in regards to the things, if anything. It's that's pretty much it. So what can I say? It's not all bad. It's not all bad with that phone. I just my view is that it's just, you know, I just became disillusioned about a product where the screen just breaks. You know, what am I going to do if the screen just breaks, you know? And one of the times where I really needed the phone to record, the screen broke, you know, a couple of days before the government came and made this new wonderful door or something like that after they broke my standard door and all that. And I still need to fix some things over here, because that, you know, when they knocked the door down, I fixed the other side, but not this one. They really gave it a good, you know, pretty much fixed this with and some paint and all that. So that's, and some, well, it doesn't look, but it looks better than nothing, right? Had some spray paint, whatever, you know. Need for the other side as well when I just get it fixed. I don't know why I haven't fixed it yet, but many things to do and all that. So, and a lot of things going on, and now getting issues in regards to getting food as well because the shops are closing and making issues, right? Because you need to have a mask on. You can take your fascist Nazi mask and shove it someplace where the sun doesn't shine. It's just I don't want to go along with this nonsense. Oh, it closed it down, and that's one of the things where the LGV20 phone pisses me off, right? Why make this feature that the camera just closes down automatically? Why did they do that? And at least they should have made the option to turn it off. Do you want the camera to close down and all that automatically? No. I can't remember how long it actually stays up, but it's so yeah. I don't know. What else is there to say? I just don't understand why we can't make, most of the mobiles out there are just, you can't even change the battery, Many people are hanging on to the LGV20, and there was a whole market for the LGV20 people out there. But I thought, I had hoped that the Shift would be something that could replace it, because if the Shift couldn't replace it, well, then I'm back to the LGV20, which I couldn't get at that point because of the corona things, which it seems like now I have just gotten a new version of it, and I'll then go back to that pretty much. That's the thing that I've go back to. I don't have any other choices pretty much. I'm if it took me a lot of time and a lot of things to set up the Shift phone 6MQ and all that, and it's very sad that I've used so much time, and it's just terrible. It's just terrible, and now it closes down again. I think it gives me around a minute of looking at the screen. I guess we have to take the other camera program to actually make it, but of course that seems to lock apparently at the moment. So I, you go from one issue to another issue. Nothing works, right? Yeah. Hello. Are you going to work? Huh? Okay, let's push it back to the back camera here and see if it want to work now. Are you going to work now, or are you going to again again the LGV20 phone is less powerful, and thereby sometimes the camera can hang, and it also can close down the mobile phone if it gets too hot. I never had, I don't think I had any heating problems with the Shift phone, at least. I think I've just been able to record without any problems in regards of any heating issues. That's the good thing with the Shift phone. And it absolutely has a lot of power behind it, and the resolution is not that big, and which is actually a good thing, because then the power behind it can really be used. Although in regards to the resolution, like YouTube is complaining about the resolution that the Shift phone has, because the Shift phone goes with this elongated, which most of the mobiles seem to go with, and I'm not sure why they do it, like that, but most mobiles seems to, you can see, making this stream and all that, YouTube doesn't complain in regards of the size of the screen. But if you make a live stream from the other mobile, from the Shift 6MQ, it will point out that the resolution is not like it really should be in regards of, because it's elongated, instead of just So let's see here. We had the Shift 6MQ phone, 128 gigabytes, which is pretty much, that was the thing. If I'm going to upgrade, I have to have 128 gigabytes. I can't live with 64 gigabytes. The Fairphone only had 64 gigabytes, so that was a no-go as well. The Fairphone 3, I was looking at it. That was no-go, only 64 gigabytes. The Shift 6MQ had 128 gigabytes, which sounded much, much better. At least it has 128. I didn't really care much of the other specs, really, in regards of being a powerful unit and all that. Of course, it's nice to have a powerful, fast mobile and all that. But that was not the main thing, is in regards of the how many gigabytes that was on the internal. Then we go to the Librem phone. I think it only had 32 gigabytes or something like that, but the Librem 5 was far from done some years ago, and it still doesn't seem to be totally done. But and then I got into some other issues with the company where I'm thinking, they had this social chat thing, and they had the other Librem chat. They had two different things. I think it was called Librem Social and Librem Chat, I think. And Librem Chat was in regards of running on this Matrix thing. And as people that use Matrix maybe have come to know, it can become a very laggy experience. And that happened as well with the Librem Matrix server. It became so laggy, so it was impossible to really find enjoyment in using it at all. The Librem Social was based on Mastodon, but they had closed. They say they're like Librem, freedom and all that, right? But they had taken the feature away from the user, so they couldn't get information from other servers. And I only found out about this when I actually looked into Mastodon. But of course, Mastodon is in themselves a very wicked covenant where they promote sodomy, LGBT nonsense and all that bullshit and all that, and don't allow people speaking against it. They were grooming children, You had all these images, grooming images, colors and cute things and all that, fixed up with all this disgusting filth. But that's okay to promote, apparently, on the platform, but it's not okay to speak against it, because then you are unloving and you are not, this and that, whatever bullshit. So Librem Social was, a Mastodon, whatever, delivery, what do you call it? A thing in regards of based on Mastodon. But the problem was that they hadn't allowed. One thing is to say, okay, well, this feature, well, but standing for freedom, right? They should make the user decide, right? Wasn't it about the user having the freedom to do what he wanted? Well, the thing is, they took the feature away. And I actually only found out when I tried the platform known as Gap. The Gap platform, which was cast out of the Mastodon network. Because on the Librem Social, I got more people from Gap seeking my friendship. So they were connected at some point in regards of. So I got a good amount of Gap from Gap seeking my friendship and all that, and that's okay, great, no problem. And talking about the Bible and all that, right? Hey, no problem, So I think that was one of the ways I found out about Gap. Then I found out that they were tagging the Gap platform because the Gap platform didn't want to have all this sexuality, LGBT, and all that nonsense. So I tried Gap, and when I tried Gap, I found out that this feature was there. But while I was trying out Gap for a short time, I just wanted to see how far they actually would go in regards of censorship and all that. So I put some very anti-Catholic messages on it because I sadly think that Gap is seemingly run by Roman papist Catholics. But anyway, whatever the case, they didn't ban me, and I think my account is still in there. But what I found out is that Gap closed down a feature that I found out there was a feature that I hadn't seen on Librem social. And the feature was closed down, although I do see that people from Mastodon was saying that they were attacking Gap and all that apparently. And apparently this was used to attack Gap. I don't know how, but apparently. So Gap closed it down, which I think is still ridiculous because it was still working, and then you could still see from other people out there if you wanted. You could see whatever messages from all around all the servers out there. But anyway, then I tried a Mastodon server just to see this feature in action further, and truly it was working pretty good. And although I was talking to an administrator on the covenant rules in regards of what would happen if I was speak, against this and all that, would I be, and yeah, I would be kicked out of the server and all that. In regards of all the sodomy and LGBT and all that, you're not allowed to be against that. You're not allowed to have an opinion, because everybody should be, just except not the people that. Anyway, so that was problem in regards of that. And then in regards of you join up with Librem, and that was just, I don't know if I couldn't turn off these every single month they're sending this Librem email for you, and I just couldn't. There wasn't an easy way to turn it off. So I don't know if I'm still getting those emails, or if I actually did totally ban them or something like that. But that was just where I'm thinking. If you're going for standing for Librem, and why are you not making an easy option to not get these messages that I'm getting from you every single month? And it didn't look like they were totally honest in regards of the Librem phone when it was hyped to very heights, that it was that it seemed to be ready pretty much, but it was far from ready. The product that came out was just not ready. So that was pretty sad. So that was not a possibility. A lot of people waited for that and hope, that they hoped they could jump away from iPhone, Android, Google and all that, and could jump on some real Linux thing and all that. But sadly, that wasn't the case. Then we have the Pine phone, that was also in its beginning. For developers, they had this version that was clearly not made for people using it in its daily life. It was more used for developers so they could try things out. Apparently they don't need to have a huge powerful device, although the new phone that they have made, or an upgraded Pine Phone Pro, was sent out to developers first, as far as I recall. They had like this where they were sending them out. I think it was for developers only first, and then they would produce them for other people. But that, I'm not putting my hopes up in some sense. But the mobile is absolutely in a nice price range compared to the Shift 6MQ. But the problem with the Pine phone is I don't think it can hold battery for very long. I think they do have a way to actually charge the battery from the outside. I think they had something of that, but they're still, early on producing things and all that. So yeah, it's hard to really, they seem to be the closest for a Linux phone now. I've seen it running the PinePhone Pro, and it does look like it's running pretty good. In regards of fluent experience, it looks a lot better at least than the other one that they made. So it looks like it's actually a product that could actually, go in the right direction for sure. And the good thing with PinePhone or the Librem phone is that they are real Linux. That means, although I'm not known to, I don't know that much in regards of Linux, but the good thing with it is that you could get root out of the box, and thereby you could do whatever you wanted with the phone. That also means breaking it totally. That's always the risk of breaking things totally, but hey, that's what you get. Although it doesn't really happen that often that you really totally break it. But of course, if you know how to make a backup, that's always a nice thing. And I think the mobile, just small. Now it's on. Yeah, it has its problems with recording, and I can feel it's getting hard. Well, and that might be the problem. It's not that hard, but yeah, clearly having some issues. I guess it's just much better to actually just record in the old days and not go live. Just record and then upload a thing. Uh-oh, that's not it. Bum, bum, bum. Anything else? No, I don't know. That was pretty much it, I guess. Probably have forgotten something. Also, another thing from going to Android 8 to Android 10, a lot of the applications I found out, apparently the developers can't follow along the production of Google. Google Android apparently just, makes one version after another, and the developers doesn't seem to be, a lot of the applications just, gave me a warning I couldn't run in regards of Android 10. So that's another thing. And you also had changes from Android 8 to Android 10 in regards of how some of the applications was working out. I had an application, a music application on Android 8, which had every single file that it made and all that in one specific folder. In Android 10, that changed, so it was all over the picture. It was in the download folder, it was in the music folder, it was in the different folders. And it's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why is this doing this? Why? What was the problem when having all the things in one folder? Apparently that was a problem. Anyway, it is what it is, I guess. This world, this wicked world full of demon-filled Nazis and all that. And what a wicked world. I guess also have in regards of the, up there. Oh well. But yeah, I think I'm pretty much done speaking on the topic. It would be interesting to try the PinePhone, I'm thinking, but I don't think it would be ready in any way. I don't think it would be, I would probably bash that phone pretty harsh as well. But it does have root out of the box as far as I understand it, because it's Linux. It's just Linux, and you can actually also use it as a Linux computer. At least that's what they are also pointing to. So it looks good in regards of going in the right direction. But if you can only get like 1 or 2 hours of battery times by using it, because it has a hard time in regards of battery, and you can't get a bigger battery for it, well, then it's it's just too that's not going to fly for daily use at least. You could still you could probably use it for an interesting little computer and whatnot, but it's not long. If you don't have the power to, and I don't know why they wouldn't just have made a bigger battery at least, have the ability to get a bit. Maybe they will. But at least that would be one of the things that would be pretty nice. It's not a problem with bigger batteries. I don't know. What is the problem with bigger batteries? Why is it that the batteries has to be as slim and unusable as... this is incredible. I rather, it's like the standard thing of battery is just not there anymore. In the old days, right? We had some sanity in regards of... like I had this speaker, and this is a power bank speaker, but I think it's more like a normal, because it can be used both as yeah, we don't want Bluetooth. It would be nice if they actually had a module so you could take it out or something like that.
Bluetooth.
Yeah. But anyway.
Bluetooth is waiting for a connection.
Yeah, we don't want Bluetooth in this home here. I wonder if there's a Bluetooth print which you maybe could take out or something like that, so you don't have... But in any case, the idea is that this has a big battery. It can be used as a power bank. But it's not really a big battery overall. It just seems more like a normal thing for a unit to really have, not like a power bank thing, If you didn't look at the normal items, they have less, and it's like, why, They can't run that long, So I don't understand it, It would have been nice even with a bigger battery in this one, wouldn't be bad. With a little bigger battery, I wouldn't have had any problems with that. But no. Yeah. I guess it is what it is. I think you can actually also change the battery when it dies. I think that's a possibility as well. So that's always nice, at least, if that's possible. But as long as it's working, it's not a big problem. There's so many things that it's like we have all these different kind of mobiles with different prints and all that, so you can't reuse things, and that's typical. Oh yeah, by the way, in regards to the chargers, I had... Oh well, no, it died. Well, this is full of chargers. I tried different chargers, a lot of chargers, and I have more chargers than that. And tried a lot of chargers for the Shift phone. Again, it doesn't seem to be a charging, a charger problem. It seems to be a mobile problem in regards of... Because again, I've already tested things. That's what I do. I test things. I've tried to figure out what is the best thing to... I think it's probably a kind of a sickness or whatever you want to call it. But I tend to do things, and then I do things over and over again, right? It's to sort things out. Anyway, I guess that's all. I guess I don't have much more to say. Everything is also going in the wrong direction in this world, so I don't even know how long we have to live overall. If I take my powers, which I should, and send that bullshit, meter back to them, I actually should. I just need, I just last bit of things, to do. I guess I just have to cut it and just get rid of it, and then I can take a break, I guess, from all this, Anyway, I think that's all for me. May Yahweh be with you, and Yeshua, most precious pearl, and the spirit of truth be in us all. Amen. Have a good one. I should stop and all this thing, I just use too much time on things.